let them know, whoever's.
Yes, sir.
Time is 6:03. Call to order the February 22nd Planning and Zoning Commission. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chair Story,
Here.
Commissioner McDaniel is absent. Commissioner Aguilar is absent. We're expecting him shortly. Commissioner Lassard.
Here.
Commissioner McCornack.
Here.
Commissioner Henderson.
Here.
Commissioner Gutierrez is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson, would you perform the swearing in, please?
Sure. All those staff members and members of the public that are going to testify this evening, would you stand and raise your right hand? Everybody up that's going to swear? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give here this evening is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury? Say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Next, we have the approval of tonight's agenda, the February 22nd meeting. If I could have a motion, please.
Commissioner Story, I motion that we move case 22-004 to number 3 tonight, and hear case 22-008 and 22-009 in place of 1 and 2.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Jana and a second by Steve to approve the agenda with the following changes, moving item 1 to number 3 and moving up 2 and 3 to number 1 and 2. All approved?
Aye.
Any against? Same sign. Approval of the agenda passes as amended. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the January 25th, 2022 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Does anybody have any comments, questions, anything to say about the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the minutes of the January 25th P&Z meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by James to approve the minutes from the January 25th, 2022 meeting. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. And now we will move over to case number 22008. Meredith, would you like to present this first, or you want us to go through?
You can go ahead and waive the reading of the findings of facts, and Spencer Aiken will present the next 2 cases.
Okay, have a motion, please.
Commissioner Story and Commissioner, I make a motion to waive the reading of the finding of the facts and land use and zoning considerations with respect to case number 22-008.
Second.
I have a motion by Jana and a second by James to waive the reading of the finding and facts and land use and zoning considerations with respect to case 22-008. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have Mr. Spencer Aiken up. Go ahead, Spencer.
All right. Good evening, Chair Story and Commissioners. Zoning case 22-008 is a request for approval of a major home occupation conditional use permit in order to continue running an existing in-home child care program at 25 Forest Drive. So the little star there on the zoning map shows where the property is in relation to everything else. It's southeast of McGaffey Street and Sunset Avenue, and the adjacent zoning to the property is all zoned R1 residential. So as of right now, Ms. Minhara's only plans on adding one additional child into the program, changing total enrollment from 7 to 8. Some more things to consider for this proposed CUP are that parent and guardian drop-off and pickup times are scattered throughout the day, with the last drop-off and pickup time at approximately 5:30 p.m. It's also important to note that usually 2 to 3 kids are dropped off or picked up per vehicle instead of just one. And Mrs. Minhara's picks up some of the kids in the program from school, and so these aspects together help alleviate some traffic congestion on Forest Drive. So they've actually expanded their driveway area, and currently you can fit approximately 4 to 6 cars, depending on the type of car. On that photo there, that's an older Google Earth photo, shows that you can fit about 5 with the garage, but see where that little area is that fits 1 car? That whole area has been expanded downward, so quite a sizable drive pad. So I spoke with Mr. Nick Costellas. He's the Deputy Director of Field Services for the state's Children, Youth, and Families Department. And we talked a bit about in-home daycare or child care programs. And he spoke quite favorably of them. He stated that they provide opportunities for parents to find a care provider that they are familiar with and that they feel comfortable with, something that isn't always the case for kind of the larger programs. And they often provide flexibility in terms of scheduling, in terms of things like being accommodating to pick up and drop off kids, and just overall kind of the care styles are more flexible and geared to those kids. As of today's date, we have received 2 verbal protests regarding some concerns about traffic circulation. We haven't gotten any written protests or anything. However, based on the land use and zoning considerations, the findings of fact, the surrounding land uses, and the regulations established in the zoning ordinance, staff recommends approval of zoning case 22-008 CUP to permit a major home occupation conditional use permit in order to operate an in-home child care program in the R1 residential district at 25 Forest Drive. And I stand for questions.
Anybody have any questions of Spencer? Let the record show that Commissioner Aguilar has entered the meeting, and it would be my suggestion that he be allowed to participate in this case, as we have not heard any testimony for or against it. Kevin, are you okay with that? Any questions of Spencer?
Quick question.
Yes.
Is there a limit on the number of children in a daycare setting of this type?
So for a major home occupation CUP, the maximum allowance of children in the program is 12. At the moment, they only have 1 additional child that they want to bring into the program, but a CUP provides flexibility per our code for up to 12.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're on case 22-008. We skipped over and rearranged the first one, moved it to the last. Anything else to Spencer? Thank you, Spencer. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor of case 22-008? Yes, please come forward, please, to the podium and the microphone. State your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Jasuli Minhades, and I work with my mom. She's the one that has a daycare. She's had it for several years now, and we've enjoyed working with the children, and we would like the opportunity, if we could, to be allowed one more child into our program. And so I am in favor. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eva Palma, and I'm on 23 Forest Drive, next door to them. And I was speaking to them. My concern was that there was going to be too much traffic for the residential area. But they're saying they're extending to one because they already have the business, which has worked out pretty good, no problems. But whenever they said they were going to extend it, that was going to build a lot of traffic, and it's a small residential area. So that was my concern. Somebody getting hurt whenever they were getting off because they already have enough vehicles there parked. They have about 6 vehicles, and for themselves they already have 6 vehicles, so even more traffic to be allowed. So my concern was somebody getting off on my driveway or my sidewalk getting hurt, my insurance going up, because I was thinking it was going to be a lot more kids. They were going to hire somebody else to take care of more kids, because I know that it only takes so many kids per adult. But they say it's only one more child, I don't see a problem.
Okay,
But if it is going to be a lot bigger, then I do see a problem.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wishing to speak against case number 22-008? Commissioners, any comments from city staff? Lewis, have you taken a look at it? Have you got any?
Commissioner Story, yes, I've looked at this site, and it's not much different than some of the other sites that we have around town for the similar daycare service. There is room for drop-off, and I don't know about the parking. I don't know who's parking there, but there is ample room if they want to have off-street parking for their employees or those that are involved with the daycare if it's family. But from civil engineering point of view, I have no opposition on this one.
Thank you. Any other staff comments?
Commissioner Story, just one of the issues that we stay on top of in the Community Development Department, Planning and Zoning, is the need to expand all educational services, daycare services, and things like that. Services to families are tremendously in demand. While there is a minor potential for increased traffic, the reality is that most studies have shown that these local neighborhood daycare centers, the local neighborhood schools and things like that, actually reduce traffic in the neighborhood because people will walk. They will not necessarily take their cars, they will drive, they will walk their children over, they will drop them off and then walk back home. The service area for most of these is relatively small. They are intended to be in the neighborhood, and you end up with a very close-knit group of people that watch each other's back, that take care of each other's children. There is very little reason not to approve the child care for up to 12 students. It just makes good sense, provides another amenity to the neighborhood, and provides another benefit to the residents immediately around.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any questions of anybody? If not, I would accept the motion.
Chairman Story and Commissioners, based on the land use and zoning consideration, finding of the facts, and testimony heard tonight, I'd like to make a motion to approve case 22-008.
Second?
We have a motion by Jana and a second by James to approve case number 22-008. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. You're approved. Next, we will move to case number 22-009. If I could have a motion for waiving of the reading of the finding of facts, please.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to waive the reading of the finding of facts and land use and zoning considerations with respect to case 22-009.
Second.
We have a motion by James and a second by Steve to waive the reading of the finding of facts, land use and zoning considerations for case number 22-009. All approved, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Spencer?
Okay. Good evening again, Chair Story and Commissioners. So zoning case 22-009 CUP is also a request for approval of a major home occupation conditional use permit to continue running an existing child care facility at 1613 South Washington Avenue. So this is going to look quite similar to the previous case. Once again, the little star there shows where the property is located. It is northeast of Hobbs Street and Washington Avenue, and the adjacent zoning is all R1 residential. So parent and guardian drop-off and pickup times are once again scattered throughout the day at various times, and often it's 2 to 3 children per vehicle versus just one at a time. And like the last case, Miss Esquivel helps pick up and drop off some of the kids from school. So if you look at the drive pad there, the property, it can accommodate approximately 2 off-street parking spots, while the drive pad area in the right-of-way is approximately 19 feet long from curb to sidewalk. So obviously vehicles can't park there for long periods of time, but that is something to consider in terms of quick drop-off and pickups. And then because this is the same as last, a major home occupation conditional use permit, I will reiterate my conversation with Mr. Nick Costales. He speaks favorably about these at-home child care programs as they provide more flexibility. You can kind of accommodate the care style more specifically to the children, and hours and all that are more flexible. As of today's date, we have received no verbal or written objections for this case. Therefore, based on the land use and zoning considerations, findings of fact, the surrounding land uses, and regulations established in the zoning ordinance, staff recommends approval of zoning case 22-009 CUP to permit a major home occupation conditional use permit in order to operate an in-home child care program at 1613 South Washington Ave.
Thank you, Spencer. Any questions of Spencer? Thank you, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of case 22-009? Please come forward, ma'am. State your name and address, please.
Margarita Escabel, 1613 South Washington Avenue. And we are requesting approval for a permit for the major home occupation for in-home childcare. Right now it's 6 to 8 children. Looking forward to, growing, but not right away. So right now it's 6 to 8.
Any questions of the applicant? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of case number 22-009? Anyone in opposition wishing to speak in opposition to case 22-009? Commissioners, any questions of anybody? Meredith, do we have anybody online? Okay. No questions? I'd accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, based on the land use and zoning considerations, finding of fact, the staff recommendations and the testimonies here this evening, and the information provided, I move that we approve case 22-009.
Second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Jana to approve case number 22-009. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Case passes. Is approved. Hi, Meredith. Are you going to present the next case? You all that were here for the previous cases, you're certainly welcome to leave unless you would just like to stay and see what we do or how the other cases go, but you are not required to stay.
Good evening, Chair Story and Commissioners. We're going to hear 22-004 FPLAT, a request for a final plat for Enchantment West
Meredith,
Eisenhower subdivision.
you need to hold up for just 1 second. I believe one of our planning commissioners needs to recuse herself. She
Yes.
needs to, that needs to be on the record. And
course.
Commissioner Lassard, you do need to leave the room.
I have to leave?
You have to leave the room, yes.
Just leave the room.
Don't go far away. We'll holler at you as soon as we're done with it.
Okay.
Is that something new?
It is something we've been encouraged to be a little more cautious with when there is the potential for a conflict. Again, I believe everybody knows and understands that body language, eyes, other things, it's a, and this will be something that we will be enforcing as a request by the city attorney, is that when a commissioner, or for that matter, a council member needs to recuse themselves, they are asked to leave the dais.
Can she stay in the room against the wall in the chair over there? Or she have to
If
leave?
she turns it the other way and faces the wall, yes. No.
Meredith, would you like for us to have a motion to waive the reading and finding of facts first?
Yes, please.
So moved.
Second?
Dang. We have a motion by Saul and a second by James to waive the reading of the finding of facts and land use and zoning considerations for case 22-004. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Noting that Commissioner Lassard has recused herself from the room. Okay, Meredith.
Thank you, Chair Story. Commissioners. You've seen this case before as a preliminary plat last month on January 25th and voted to approve the preliminary plat to create 10 lots out of 2 tracts for residential. It's about 3.7 acres. The Planning and Zoning Commission's decision on this case tonight, the final plat, will be forwarded to the City Council for final decision. So the background to this case is that you approved the preliminary plat last month and also approved a rezoning from C1 neighborhood commercial to R2 residential zoning for the 2 tracts under consideration tonight. Here you can see the assessor map and the zoning map giving the location. It's on the far west edge of town, at the far west edge of Enchantment West, north of 2nd Street, south of College Avenue. And you can see that the map has been changed now so that you have the rezoning to R2 for this parcel, or these two tracks. On the west side of the green line, Eisenhower Road is county, Chavez County. In your packet, you have the plat itself that shows 10 lots. And then you also have Exhibit G, I believe, that shows how Eisenhower Road is going to be blocked off or ramped so that the improvement to Eisenhower Road only serves these 10 lots and does not go through to College. So it's just from Bill Dennis Drive, Eisenhower Road, and then curves back around to Carol Ann Way on the north. As we stated last time, we do need multiple types of housing, lots for housing, and so this will provide additional lots for housing, new housing. We did receive one written protest letter via email from Ted Bishop, and he was concerned about opening up Eisenhower Road to College that would increase traffic. He lives in the neighborhood. I did call him, I emailed him the packet, I went over the roadway ramping that's going to occur there. So at this time, I explained to him that Eisenhower was not going to be a through street. It was just to serve those lots. And Mr. Nahar can explain more if you need him to. So based on the land use and zoning considerations, findings of fact surrounding land uses and the regulations established in the zoning ordinance, staff does recommend approval of zoning case 22-004 final plat for Eisenhower, or for Enchantment West Eisenhower subdivision.
Comment there, it's not a zoning case.
This is not a zoning case. This is a final plat case.
Right, but your text there says approval of zoning case.
Oh.
So we just,
Oh, it does.
yeah, we'll just scratch that out.
Oh. Well, okay.
Any questions of Meredith?
Quick question. Let me understand on Eisenhower, will they build the road for those 10 lots then? And I've forgotten the Carolina Way and whatever that other street is,
Bill Dennis Drive and Carol Ann Way,
you know.
be looped.
Well, and those streets will have improvements if needed.
The paving will be on Eisenhower in front of these residences, and the way we're gonna control it is, basically, it's gonna look like a cul-de-sac. You'll have the curb and gutter coming this way, just curving around. So when you go to these houses, you're just gonna go to these houses and circle back around into Enchanted Hills.
But Eisenhower will be fully built.
Yes, curb and gutter, sidewalk, paving on the Eisenhower that's part of this subdivision only.
Thank you.
You're gonna put sidewalks in at the time of the street construction?
No, that'll be part of the
Lot development?
lot development.
That only on the side where the lots go, the other side will be left as is?
Correct, until there's a developer over there. Typically, the sidewalk, Commissioner Aguilar, belongs to the developer for their responsibility to build it.
Thank you.
Pretty standard.
Chair Story, may I approach?
Sure.
And Chairman Story, you remember your comment about the dedication of right-of-way? We did clarify it on the plat. You can see that on page 4 of 7 of your handout.
Yeah, I saw that, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Meredith? Thank you, Meredith.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of case number 22-004? Do we have anybody online, Meredith, for either for or against?
Chair Story, Commissioners, we do have Mr. Dennis, Bill Dennis, on the phone, I believe. There is a caller on the phone. It's unidentified, but I believe that's Bill Dennis. And Carol Dennis is also in the audience.
Carol, you don't wish to speak? Okay, thank you. All right, thanks, Meredith. So, being none to speak in favor or to speak against, unless Bill would like to speak in favor. It's kind of mean of him to make you come and he doesn't come.
I'm actually here. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I would like. I had a scheduling conflict, so I wasn't able to make it to the meeting. But I am in favor, of course, of proceeding with this subdivision, getting these 10 lots out for sale, and wrapping that project up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Any questions of the applicant? Being none, I would accept the motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, based on findings, zoning considerations, finding of fact, land use, and the presentation here this evening, I move that we approve the final plat for case 22004.
Second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Saul to approve case number 22-004. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Let it be known that Commissioner Lassard was not in the room at the time of the vote and did not participate in the vote. That takes care of our cases. Carol, if you'd like to leave, you're certainly welcome to leave too, unless you want to listen to Kevin talk. Next item on the agenda is other business. Anybody in the staff wish to bring anything forward? Kevin?
Chairman Story, wanted to explain just a couple of things. First of all, now that Commissioner Lassard has rejoined the meeting, record does need to reflect that she has rejoined the meeting. Wanted to explain to you why we're taking things a little more strictly, a little more conservatively in our approach to the way we run meetings. As y'all are aware, we've had some contentious meetings the last few months. Some of our policies and procedures, especially with respect to how we conduct the meetings. So we're going to be taking a little more conservative approach, which is why at this point, for all future meetings, if there is a potential conflict, if we do have a commissioner that needs to recuse themselves, they will have to do exactly like Jenna did tonight. They'll have to get up, remove the room, record needs to reflect that they have left because of potential conflict, and then when they rejoin the meeting, let the record reflect that they've rejoined. That's all at the advice, of course, of our city attorney, based upon some of the recent meetings we've had and some of the issues that have been presented at a couple of those meetings. So we want to make sure we're doing things the right way, because you all, as I promised a year ago when can you all believe I've been here a year? Okay. As of 2 days ago, been here a year. A whole lot of people lost a whole lot of money. Over under on me lasting a year was, I believe, 5-1. Okay, so a whole bunch of people lost a whole bunch of money. So it's all good. Okay, now I've yet to, no. Anyway, a couple of things, we're making some changes. If you did not hear, and you may not have, We are going to be stepping up our communication within the Community Development Department. The communication one thing that at the campaigns have brought out is there's a number of people that either are unaware, they're not following us, they're not listening to what's going on in this community. So effective tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and every fourth Wednesday of the month at 7 a.m., I will be on the Mike Winters show at 7 a.m. talking about community development, talking about the projects, talking about the things, the wonderful things that this Planning Commission and the Community Development Department are doing, and the things that we're bringing to the city to try and generate some additional buzz about life here in Roswell. So that's all going to be fun. Other than that, I believe you're all aware that Meredith is going to be taking a little time off in order to care for a sick family member. She'll be gone for the next 4 or 5 weeks. The young gentleman to the far right is going to step up and take the place as interim Planning and Zoning Administrator. So if you have any questions, concerns, or issues, talk to him first. If you have questions, concerns, or issues with him, then you can talk to me, and we'll do our best to make it all right. So, other than that, Mr. Chairman, you got any questions, concerns, issues? Nope. All right. We're all good then.
I don't know if, I've never got an email for this week's, and I'm wondering if either two guys didn't get it either.
So I sent 2 packets out to you, and they both bounced back for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was the Sal Aguilar at me, I think.
I got Meredith's application, and I think I sent that back. But I was caught off guard today when you called me.
We can check.
Send me something in the morning, and if you get it bounced back, just give me a call.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll give you a call. We'll get that handled tomorrow.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
Commissioner Story, Chair Story, Commissioner Aguilar, I've often had issues with your email.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I finally got it to work.
No problem, child.
Well, and I think there was a small delay of when we actually did receive the packets. So just in future, if we could get them a little earlier, we'd appreciate it. Anything else? We don't have any public comments. No more announcements. Anybody?
Larry Conley's here to speak.
Sure, go right ahead. Please state your name and address, please.
Larry Conley, 2815 in Canto. Nice to see you all. I have a couple questions I have one for Kevin. Kevin, when are you moving into your new location?
At this point in time, what we're hoping for is sometime next month. So.
Okay, that answers that.
Okay.
Then, this is actually for the commissioners. I think, I don't know, but I think it might be helpful if the commissioners would provide the city or something, a letter saying, we need more people in the engineering department. I'm getting sick of Lewis having to work so many hours. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Could be that he's such a tough boss, no one wants to work for him, but who knows? But I do think we all have to stand up and talk to the city council and say, hey, we don't know what it takes, but we need more people in that city engineering department. And that's my things I want to cover. I look forward to seeing you next month in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Miss you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Louis, you want to comment to that?
Amen. Thank you, Larry.
I just was thinking, how does that, if we draft something or do something, how does that affect other departments? You know, but we'll take that into consideration.
I'm sure there's plenty
Thank
of
you.
money for that. There's plenty of money for all the departments to increase their staff.
Anything else, anybody? It is 6:42, and